So, I have a YouTube channel. Woo! So listen, thank you to those of you who are joining me and viewing me from YouTube, from Facebook, from Instagram, from whatever platform you're using. Thank you for hanging out with me. Listen, if you don't know who I am, my name is Tracy Morgan. I am the wife of an amazing husband for almost 4 decades. I have 2 adult sons, the second loves of my life. I am a grandmother. Yes, baby, all of this lusciousness is a grandmother of 3 of the most beautiful children in the entire world. But most importantly, I am a believing Christian. So if you got 10 minutes, I know you got 10 minutes. You might not think you have 10 minutes, but I want you to check your back pocket, check your pocketbook, check your desk drawer. You got 10 minutes. And with those 10 minutes, I want to share something with you and for you that will change your perspective for this new year. I was having this conversation with a friend about the new year. And for me, I believe that anytime the clock strikes another year, anytime the year comes in, a new year, anytime the earth makes her orbit around the sun, that something happens in the spiritual realm. I believe that there's a spiritual awakening in the spirit realm. I mean, I am anticipating every year the next year. And I was sharing those feelings with a friend of mine, but they didn't agree. They believed and they felt like the new year was just a regular old day. It's just a day on the calendar, nothing big about it, nothing spectacular about it. It is what it is. Been there, done that. And so when I went home, I was disturbed. I was perturbed. And I thought, are they right? Am I right? Am I wrong? And are they right? I didn't understand. So I began to do some research. If you know me, you know. And so what I found out was that they were right and they were wrong. And that I was right and that I was right. No, I found out that I was wrong as well. So let me explain it to you. We know that a year has 365 days, right? And if it's a leap year, it has 366 days. But in any event, let's just say a year is 365 days. More definitively, if you look at it scientifically, once the earth makes a full circle or once it orbits the sun, that constitutes a year. It's the reason why on your birthdays, people will congratulate you by saying, hey, happy birthday. You made another revolution around the sun, because that one revolution, that one orbit around the sun constitutes 1 year. So we know then that if it's a circle, and it is a circle, if you start at one particular place and 365 days, if you make a complete circle, you will end at the same place that you started, year after year after year. If you started at point A last year, you will end up at point A at the end of your year again. If you started at point A the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that, every single year, if you consider the sun and the earth orbiting around the sun, every single year, you will arrive at the same place. You'll be doing the same thing. You will look the same way every single year. But let me shift your perspective, as my pastor would say. Again, who's my pastor? I'm not going to tell you, because I have a proclivity to be out of pocket. I have a proclivity to say things I shouldn't say, and you are not going to be able to blame him. Although, let me tell you, I'm tight and I'm in order. So my pastor would challenge you to shift your perspective. So let's not just think about the earth orbiting the sun, because while the earth is orbiting the sun is doing her own thing, baby, and she is orbiting the galaxy. So when we look at the galaxy, we realize that although the earth is orbiting the sun is one star in the midst of stars, and it is doing its own thing and orbiting the galaxy. So while it takes the earth where we live, from our perspective, while it takes the earth 365 days to orbit the sun, it takes the sun 250 million years to orbit the galaxy. I mean, is God even that old? So if you change your perspective from this narrow-minded, small sun perspective and you shift it to your galaxy perspective, you will find that every year you will arrive at a different place than the year before. Every year, you will run into something that you didn't see in the previous year. Oh, God may have sent someone to release the word to you, to show it to you, but you never arrived at that place. If you have a galaxy mentality, if you come from that, Paul says to the Corinthians in his second letter, come out from among them. If you would come out from that small-minded, narrow-minded, some mentality, you will realize that this year in the galaxy, you're at a different place. This year in a galaxy, you're in a different season. What happened last year, and if you're in the sun, might happen this year. But if you would shift your perspective, if you would shift your perspective to a galaxy perspective, you will find that you are indeed in a new year. You are indeed in a new season. That sun, that space is too small for you. Listen, the Bible talks about how the request came. He says, David said when he was in distress, he called upon the Lord, and the Lord heard his prayer and set him, firmly established him in a large place. One version says a spacious place. Other versions say a wide open and a broad space. Don't you want to be in a different, wide open, broad, spacious space this year? I dare you to believe it. Are you crazy enough to believe, with all of the ensuing chaos coming, that God can set you in a wide open space? Matter of fact, I want to go a step further. I dare you in this season, yes, in 2024, to pray the prayer of Jabez. He says, oh God, one, that you would bless me. Oh God, two, that you would enlarge me. Three, oh God, that your hand might be with me. And in this season, you best be praying. Four, oh God, that you would keep me from evil. Listen, I dare you to move from this small-minded, some perspective, into a broader place, into a wider place, a place where you see the galaxy, a place where you know that you're not going to be the same as you were in 2024. Isaiah, the 54th chapter, second verse, in the King James Version. I like versions, baby. We get to see a wider perspective. It says, enlarge the place of my tent. Let them stretch forth the curtains of my habitation. Spare not, don't spare anything. Lengthen your cords, strengthen your stakes. The CE version says this, make your tents larger. I'm going to say it again. Make your tents larger. Spread out the tent pegs. Fasten them firmly. The ESV version says, enlarge the place of your tent. God, enlarge the place of my tent. Let the curtains of your habitations be stretched out. Don't hold back. Lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes. And listen, the verse after that, the first part, we're going to call it part A. It says this, for you will soon be bursting at the seams. Our choir used to sing a song, soon and very soon. It says, for you will soon be bursting at the seams. The King James Version of that same portion of scripture says, for you shall break forth on the right hand and on the left. Listen, widen your perspective this year. You don't have to be in the same place that you were in last year. Move your perspective and run with the big dogs in the galaxy perspective. Listen, I command you in this season to have everything God has promised you. I command you in this season to do everything that God has commanded you to do. I command you in this season with everything that is inside of you, with the breath that God breathed into you, that you be all, and I mean all, that God has designed and created you to be. Don't settle for this some perspective. Listen, I asked you for 10 minutes, and baby, you gave it to me, and I hope I gave it to you. Until next time.